Good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. I'm gonna wait as you guys are coming on. It says that I'm live. So good morning to everybody. I haven't been on Facebook Live since I don't know, I think since the snack and chat. So good morning to everybody. For those who will be watching on the replay, good morning to you. I am just I feel great this morning. Great. I started my workout journey again this week. I've worked out for 2 days. I've changed what I've been eating. I'm just leaving the chiropractor's office and trying to get my back straight. Like, this week has just been wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, I wanted to come on and real quickly before I get started with my day. I wanted to come on real quickly, and good morning, LaJoyce. I wanted to come on real quickly and talk about one of the hardest things that we'll ever have to experience in this life. I don't know about y'all, but one of the hardest things that we have to experience and have to deal with is accepting what God allows. Accepting what God allows. There are certain things we know God, for those who are Christians and really have a relationship with God. I'm not talking about just going to church. I'm talking about really having a relationship with God. Like, God is like my homie. Like, I reverence him. He's everything to me, but he's like my best friend. And we know that he is in control. He's sovereign. Even when crazy stuff is going on, we know that at the end of the day, God has the final say. We know he is everything, right? So with that being said, sometimes the most difficult things that we'll have to experience is accepting what he allows in our life. I'm talking about the bad stuff. The not like losing houses, like going through bankruptcy, like losing your mom and your dad when they're young, like losing a spouse, your child getting killed by somebody. Just accepting what God allows is sometimes the hardest thing that you'll ever have to experience. But it's important for you to understand really who God is. It's so important for you to understand who God is, because the enemy will have you thinking that God don't care about you and that he has you going through all this crazy stuff because he don't care about you. Even when it's rough, even when it's crazy, even when it's difficult, God absolutely loves us like no other. There is nothing that God won't do for us. So if we have that perspective when all the crazy is going on, when all hell is breaking loose, then we'll understand that even in this mess, that is purposeful. Even in this mess, when I say that everything is purposeful, everything is purposeful. Everything that God has us to go through is purposeful. It's all part of our destiny. It's all part of our journey. Some of the things that we get ourselves into, God is even going to use that. Everything is purposeful. So when you're going through, I mean, like for real going through, you got to change your focus about that situation. Because the enemy, if we don't change our focus, the enemy will have us wallow in depression, sulking, pity parties, all of that, because we don't really see God in his sovereignty. Y'all, we have to learn that even when it's bad, God still is good. Even when we feel awful, God is still worthy. Even when we have no idea how we're going to get out this situation, God is saying, you know what? If you just trust me, if you just have faith, if you just keep your eyes on me, I got you. I got you. I love you so much. I created you. I knew this was going to happen. He knew us when we were in our moms. He knew us like he had our whole life's journey planned out before we even came out of our mother. He knew exactly what we would do, what we wouldn't do. He knew exactly who we would connect ourselves to. He knew us. So that's why I say that everything is purposeful. And so when stuff happens, you got to learn how to accept it for what it is. God loves me. If I'm going through this, but I know that he loves me. It's hurting, but I know that God loves me. I know that in his timing, he will bring me out because he loves me like no other. He loves me more than my mother. He loves me more than my dad. He loves me more than my children, my spouse. God loves me and wants what's absolutely best for me. And there's nothing that he will withhold from me. So I'm going to go through this hard time. I'm going to go through this bumpy road. I'm going to just do it because I know at the end of this, God will get the glory and I will come out. I will come out shining. I know this. So accepting what God allows is difficult, but it's necessary. It's necessary, y'all. It's necessary. We cannot get caught up in the situation. Get caught up in God's sovereignty. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. We got to get caught up. Good morning, sis. We got to get caught up in God's sovereignty. Because the enemy will distract us with what's going on the outside. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. We are the head. We are not the tail. We are royalty. We are masterpieces. God absolutely loves us. So press through those hard times. Press through. And if you are unsure and if you're weak right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I really can't get through this situation, that's okay. That's okay because you're entitled to your moment. But the thing is, you can't stay in those moments. You can't stay there too long. If you got to disconnect and lay on your face before the Lord and cry out, cry, scream, do whatever you got to do so that you can release and get out of that moment. There's been times when, oh my gosh, Lord, I am going crazy and I've had to cry. Just cry. I mean, bawl. And me getting all that stuff out of that, all that anger, all that bitterness, all that resentment, guilt, shame, whatever. Once I got all that stuff out, God was able to refill me with his truth, his absolute truth. And I'm able to see clearly. The scales came off my eyes. And so there's nothing that the enemy can say to me because I absolutely trust God, and I absolutely know God for myself, and I know what he will do. I know he's faithful, and I absolutely accept what he allows because he is in control, not man. And our situations don't control us. God is in it. Point blank period. God is in it. So, y'all, I just had to get this out because there's people who are going through for real. They are going through for real and they have it's like they're just lost and they have no hope. Jesus is our absolute hope. When I say Jesus is our absolute hope, he is our absolute hope. And he has his hand on all of our situations. His hand is on it. Don't let the enemy fool you. Jesus's hand, God's hand is on our situation. Y'all, keep pressing. Keep pressing. Keep pressing. Don't stop. Accept what he allows and know deep in your heart that at the end of the day, there'll be glory after this. All right, y'all. I hope that this has encouraged you in some way. Share with your friends if it has. I'm just so grateful just for the opportunity to be able to, talk based on my experiences. I've seen him do it. I'm just thinking about just how far I've come with, being in my relationship or, just this journey. I've seen him do it. There's nothing that he won't do for you. He absolutely loves you. He absolutely cares for you, and he absolutely wants what's best for you. Accept what he allows and keep it moving. All right, y'all. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Until next time, this is Amanda Eaddy Oliver, author, speaker, teen girl advocate. For those who don't know, I live, I breathe, I dream teen girl development. Oh my goodness, I'm just so excited for what God is doing in my life, and I can't wait to watch him work in yours. As always, thank you so much for inspiring me to be great.